Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second edition of the Andy Foster Coaches Show, brought to you by Record Printing. I'm your host, Josh Sackniff with SUXSports.com. Joining me again, head coach of the Heelan Crusaders, Andy Foster. Coach, thanks for joining me again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I know it's been a tough stretch for your team. This past week there was 3 losses, but you guys came away with a win on Saturday, so talk about that.
Yeah, we went. We had, like you just said, we played 3 games in 3 nights, along with a 4th game, if you wanted to add that in there inside of 6 days. But it was a heck of a battle for our kids, but you have to adjust. Yeah, we were able to head down to Carroll Kemper High School and play against a really good team. I think at the time they were rated 6 in 2A, really talented kids. If you think Hull Western Christian likes to run it up and down the floor and score quickly, there's a chance those two could play each other, to be honest with you, in the 2A. So that would be one heck of a fun basketball game. I'd be tired watching it. But, yeah, they've got a kid named Parker Batting that is really, really talented. He's going to head to the University of Nebraska Kearney, and he was hard to guard. But we were able to get a little bit of a lead on him, kind of hold on loosely throughout the second half, and just kind of reiterate to them during timeouts, like, listen, this is a team that going into the game they had already shot almost 400 threes in the season. So you have to try to remind them at any moment they can make 3 back-to-back-to-back threes, and they're back in this thing. So, yeah, we were able to head down to Carroll Kemper, get a win. I felt good for our guys. Really, really happy for them. And if there's one thing I've learned this year, it's to enjoy those victories.
Right. And at the beginning of the season, you guys were hot. You guys hadn't really lost a game.
Correct.
Until after break. And what kind of was the changing factor in that, do you think?
I think we were always competitive in every one of those games. There were just moments where we'd lose control, whether it was mentally we would lose focus, physically some things didn't go our way, but we would come up short on certain plays. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't, oftentimes people think it's the end of the game, those moments at the end of the game that you forget or a mistake happens. But it could have been, for example, the East game at East. We had 7 turnovers in the first quarter. People don't remember that. I do. But if we were to just limit those to maybe 4 turnovers, something along those lines, or get a couple of more defensive stops in the first quarter versus down the stretch when it looks as though we absolutely need it. But yeah, just a couple of mental mistakes, a couple of physical mistakes, just things didn't go our way. The basketball guys weren't shining on us in those particular moments. But, the main thing is keeping the main thing, and that is, are we getting better? Is morale high? Are guys still willing to work? And yes, they are. I mean, in all the conversations I've had with them, and our practices are good, our locker room conversations are good, our one-on-one conversations are good. So the main thing is good.
Yeah, I know there was just a few games that you guys lost where it was 1 or 2 possessions and maybe an average of 3 points combined in those games that you guys lost to.
And those are tough. Those are tough to swallow, and you can tell guys, they instantly kind of reflect back on what they think could have been their mistakes, and I do as well as a coach. But I think we'll be all right. I really, really do. I think, like I said, we've had some great practices, and there's been some good energy in the locker room. We'll be all right. We're senior-led. We've got 9 seniors, and I think they understand the task at hand.
Do you feel that there might need to be adjustments in scheduling? Because you guys have had some really tough games. You guys have had a lot of games in just 1 week.
I don't know if it needs to be – the schedule needs to be adjusted. We hosted West on Thursday. We went down to Sergeant Bluff on Friday, and then we went to Kemper on Saturday. And then Tuesday beforehand, we had a game as well. We had to do some movement because of the weather. We had some poor weather a few weeks back that kind of shifted some things. It would have been a little bit easier had we not had to do that. But I think it's important that we get all 21 of those games in. Our kids deserve that. Their kids deserve that. I mean, the Sergeant Bluff kids, they deserve that. And they deserve to host it, Heelan, too. So we felt it was important to try to find a way to get that game in. Just unfortunately, it came across to 3 games in 3 nights. But no, I don't know that we necessarily have to change the schedule or move anything around. We just have to be prepared. I mean, not only is our conference tough, when you talk about West and East, Sergeant Bluff, AL, when you talk about all those schools, our conference is tough. And then as far as Heelan, we go ahead and we throw in Hull Western Christian.
Right, so it's non-conference games.
Yeah, Trainer, Scott, Unity Christian, Kemper. We throw in some really, really tough non-conference games, which it makes us, I think, battle tested, and it's important for us to go ahead and play those games. We don't want to play any schools that would quote unquote be an easy victory. That's not what it's about either. So.
Well, thanks, Coach, and we'll take a quick break to recognize our sponsor, Record Printing, for making this show possible. We'll have more when we come back from head coach Andy Foster.
Record Printing. We help businesses do business.
One way that we made printing easier is we broke into the internet. Won't tell Jeff. Placing an order with Record Printing is as easy as logging in, submitting a new or reoccurring order, and we'll even save everything to make it easier for next time. Now, sit back, relax. We got this. This is what we do. Record Printing in record time.
Welcome back to the Andy Foster Coaches Show. Now, Coach, it was definitely a sigh of relief getting that win against Kemper Catholic.
Sure.
Have you talked to your team about how to get them prepared and get them back on track for this season?
Yeah, we've had a handful of meetings, whether it's on the floor or in the classroom, in the locker room, about just that. What's the most important thing? And the most important thing is, are we focused on the task at hand? We have 3 games left in the regular season. We're going to try to win every one of those. But the main thing is our district play. And we talked about this in the previous show. Right now we're in that middle third of the season. And district play is that final third. And that's, for us, are we getting ourselves prepared for that? Are we getting better in these games, better in these practices, albeit if we're falling short of these games by 4, 5, 6 points? Are we still getting better? And are we learning from those mistakes, whether they're at the end of the game mistakes or the beginning of the game mistakes? And in visiting with the fellas, whether it's one-on-one or as a group, I feel like they understand that the most important thing is improvement and energy. And I think we have that. I'm hoping for these next 3 games we continue to grow and show that energy. I was just talking with somebody. We've had moments of brilliance. The East games, the Western game, Trainer game, although we fell short, we had great moments. I don't know that we've played 32 minutes at an extremely high level yet this year. So hopefully that's yet to come. And when that happens, I think we're going to be even more difficult to play.
So you have Roosevelt, you have TJ, and you have AL, who you're going to look to get revenge against.
Sure.
After that, it was a double overtime game.
Double
overtime game. Talk about some keys heading into those 3 games that you hope to see from your team.
Biggest, right now off the top of my head, the biggest thing would have to be transition defense. I feel like we're not getting back quick enough to, throughout the course of the year, there's been moments where we'll score a layup or get a nice looking shot, and within seconds, they're on the other side getting a layup.
Right.
That can't happen. So we have to continue to improve on that, and then just value the basketball. We're making sure passes, 100% sure passes. Sometimes we're trying to thread some needles or make some silly passes that aren't necessary, when I'd rather value that basketball and maybe get 1 or 2 more passes or reverses around the court before we look to score. But getting back transition defense, valuing the basketball, and making sure energy level is high moving forward.
All right. Well, thanks, Coach, for joining me again.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And until next time, you've been watching the Andy Foster Coaches Show.